Hi, can you guys hear me? I can't tell. I can never tell. Sorry. Adam? Yeah, you guys can hear me? Cool. Hi, guys. Thanks for being hi, Ernie Birdie. Okay, let me say hi to everyone. I know there's like a few of us here, so let's just say what's up. Ernie Birdie. Hi, Ernie Birdie. And Adam drives Helen. Thank you guys for being here. Mia Bito. I'm not sure if she's still here. Cianode, yes, I saw that you were still here. Hi, thank you for being here. Sister Tiff, hi, Sister Tiff. And Graciela, hola. And we have Holly Sawbones. Hi, guys, thanks for being here. Tipsy, what's up, my girl? I see Queen Olive. I'm not sure who's here or not, but what's up, guys? How you guys doing? Okay, so today I'm gonna try something new. I know we talked about we went over Maddie photos the other day, and now I'm gonna just I have a document from regarding Sandra Birchmore case. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the case. Essentially, a cop just got arrested for Matthew Farwell for her unaliving, and he made it look like she took her own life and she was pregnant, 3 months pregnant. So I'm sure you guys know about the case. If you don't, I would suggest maybe, I know everyone's been covering it. So maybe like, I know Runkle's been covering it. OB's talked about it a little bit. Mashorty's talked about it a little bit. There's a lot of people covering it, but the document that I have is the agent document, and I think most people were going over the arrest affidavit and the detention one. There's one that's like 18 pages. I think one that's maybe 4. And then this one that I have is pretty big. So honestly, I'm a fast reader, but I don't know how much we'll get through it. I'd like to get through it all. But I also want to do like commentary, and I want to see what you guys think because I didn't read it. So it's kind of new to me as well. So we're going to be reading this together, but I read like bits and pieces of it, and some parts I was like, oh, so just trigger warning about what we're going to read in this document. So let me make sure I said hi to everybody. Hi, Rabbit. I see Rabbit in here. Sister Tiff. Adam drives Helen. Brother Adam. Tipsy Gypsy. Holly, I already said hi. Oh, Mr. Meaner. Hello, Mr. Meaner. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And let's see. Theonode. I think I said hi to Theonode. Yeah, I think I said hi to everyone. Okay, so are you guys cool with that? Just like me reading the document, and then we'll like come back to chat. And I'm a pretty fast reader, so I don't think I'll try not to bore you too much. Hey, CB Slinger. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been interesting, but couldn't do it without you, so I appreciate your help. Holly Sawbones. Okay, let's get into it. Let me add the document. Can you guys see it? Adam, let me know if this is good. Hi, Esther, my love. Good to see you here. Thank you for being here. Cool. All right, so hola, I appreciate the Spanish. I never hear ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm fluent. I'm a Latina 100%. So that was my first language. English was my second language. So yeah, fluent. Read it, speak it, anything. Okay, so I'm going to Tiff Knox says, I'm familiar with the case. I read a great article a while back, but now I can't find it. Yeah, see, I'll be honest, I don't know all the details. Like, I don't know all the officers involved. I don't really know much about like her family. I just know kind of about like the case and what happened, and that there's some kind of corruption allegedly, and that guy got arrested. And from what I've seen and heard, he's gross, but that's just my opinion. Do a show in Spanish. That would actually be really interesting. And Sienna says, Dios mío. Yeah. Well, there's like Spanish from Spain and then like Spanish from Mexico, and then there's slang and then there's Spanglish, and I do like all of the above. So my Spanish is crazy. Oh, Esther, I love you too. Thank you, my girl. Okay, let's get started. So this is by it's an affidavit of Special Agent 𝐒𝐚𝐫𝐽 in support. So I believe she's an agent with the FBI, and she did this report, I think, to back up him being like terminated and being fired, etc. So I'm gonna get started. It says, I have been a special agent with the FBI since June of 2022. I'm currently assigned to the Public Corruption and Civil Rights Squad of FBI's Boston Division, where I investigate public corruption and civil rights offenses. I am a graduate of the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, and I have received on-the-job training and attended courses sponsored by the FBI and the Department of Justice on how to conduct investigations regarding violations of federal laws. I am a federal law enforcement officer within the meaning of the Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure. The facts in this affidavit come from my personal observation and review of my records, my training and experience, and information obtained from other agents and witnesses. This affidavit is filed in connection with the government's motion for detention. Therefore, it does not set forth all of my own and other investigators' knowledge about this matter. Excuse me. It says, I submit this affidavit in connection with the government's motion to detain defendant Matthew Farwell pending trial. As alleged in the indictment charging Farwell with violation, well, whatever that is, section 515.12, and as further described below, on February 1st, 2021, Farwell killed Sandra Birchmore with the intent to prevent her from communicating to law enforcement certain information regarding Farwell's commission or possible commission of the following federal crimes. Using a facility or means of interstate commerce to persuade, induce, entice, or coerce then the 15-year-old Birchmore to engage in unlawful sexual intercourse in violation of 24/2022. And then it states, depriving Birchmore of certain rights secured by the United States Constitution by committing statutory, you know what that is, the R word, rape, while acting under color of law in violation of 242. And then there's C, participating in scheme to defraud Stoughton Police Department and Town of Stoughton through false representations or material omissions about the hours Farwell worked in order to receive compensation for official time when he was in fact engaging in sexual intercourse with Birchmore. Violation 1343. So now we're gonna go, that was like a little introduction, and we're gonna get into this. I already think it's wild. I'm like, the fact that they just said he's defrauding Stoughton Police Department, I'm like, that's wild. CNO says, I hope they go after the rest of the cops who groomed as their child. Right. Right. Okay, let's move on. Overview of the investigation. On February 1st, 2021, I'm sorry, the Stoughton police detective Matthew A. Farwell killed Sandra Birchmore. Farwell committed this murder, at least in part, to prevent Birchmore from disclosing to authorities information regarding his commission or possible commission of one or more crimes, including coercion, enticement of violation, deprivation of rights under color of law in violation 242, and then ongoing wire fraud scheme in violation of 1343. Farwell's murder of Birchmore was a culmination of Farwell's years-long pattern of abuse targeting Birchmore. Wow. Okay, moving on. When she was a young girl, Sandra Birchmore was interested in pursuing a career in law enforcement and eventually joined the Stoughton Police Explorers Academy to learn more about law enforcement careers. While Birchmore was in the program, Farwell was involved as both a volunteer and an instructor. Farwell used his authority and access to groom, sexually exploit, and ultimately sexually abuse the then 15-year-old Farwell. Farwell continued this sexual abuse after Birchmore became an adult, and he continued to engage in extramarital sexual relationship with Birchmore until he unalived her on February 1st, 2021. I have like no words already. This is just wild. Let's move on. There are signs in late 2020 and early 2021 Farwell was losing control of Birchmore and the information she possessed about his past and then ongoing conduct. In and around December 2020, Birchmore became pregnant. Soon thereafter, Birchmore told Farwell that he was the father of the child and she wanted him to be more involved in the planning for the impending birth. In January 2021, Birchmore's friend contacted Farwell's employer, the Stoughton Police Department, and during that call referenced Farwell in Birchmore's illicit sexual relationship. Shortly thereafter, a Stoughton Police Department employee told Farwell about the call. Number 7. By the end of January 2021, Farwell faced the specter of additional disclosures to law enforcement regarding his prior sex abuse of Birchmore and his then ongoing efforts to defraud the Stoughton Police Department in town of Stoughton by meeting her for sex when he was supposed to be on duty as a police officer. On February 1st, 2021, Farwell went to Birchmore's apartment in Canton, Massachusetts, wearing a COVID-19 medical face mask. Once inside, he unalived her and staged her body and apartment to make it appear that Birchmore had died by taking her own life. Number 8. On February 4th, 2021, 3 days after the murders of the Canton Police Department went to Birchmore's apartment to conduct a well-being check. When police officers entered Birchmore's apartment, they found her body. A paramedic determined that Birchmore was dead and her body was transported to the office of the chief medical examiner. Number 9. In early May 2021, a medical chief examiner pathologist ruled Birchmore's manner of death to be suicide. Okay, we're going to move on to the next page, which is the evidence that Farwell committed federal offenses or possible committed federal offenses by sexually abusing Birchmore when she was a minor. I'm going to check in with you guys just to say hi. I'm saying now the feds are and MA sniffing around. They ain't going anywhere, right? Right? There's a lot going on here. Okay, let's move on. This is interesting. Number 10, Matthew Farwell started sexually exploiting Sandra Birchmore no later than 2013 when she was 15 years old. At that time, Birchmore was enrolled in the Police Explorers. Farwell used his position of trust and authority as a sworn police officer and instructor in the Police Explorers to groom Birchmore. Ultimately, Farwell sexually abused Birchmore, including by engaging in sexual intercourse with her. The Explorer program is a vocational education program that enables the youth to explore career paths such as careers in law enforcement. Police departments throughout the country partner with the Explorer program to create what are commonly known as local police Explorer programs. The Stoughton Police Department chartered and facilitated the Stoughton Police Explorers. It was a quasi-paramilitary program designed to expose youth participants to various aspects of policing. Interesting. Farwell became a sworn member of the Wellesley Police Department in 2008. On March 27, 2012, he was hired by the Stoughton Police Department, where he worked until he resigned on April 1st, 2022. Prior to joining Stoughton Police Department in 2012, he was a Police Explorers volunteer. After joining the Stoughton Police Department, he served as a police explorer's instructor. He had several roles as an instructor, including teaching firearms, explosives, and safety, and conducting canine demonstrations. At that time, Farwell was already familiar with the police explorers program because he had also been a participant as a teenager. In March 2010, Sandra Birchmore applied to be a police explorers participant. At that time, Birchmore was 12 years old. She began participating in the program in the spring of 2010, and she remained in the program through 2016. Farwell began to groom Birchmore when she was a child. The grooming culminated in Farwell raping Birchmore in April 2013 when she was 15 years old. At that time of this assault, Farwell was 27 years old. Farwell continued to sexually abuse Birchmore prior to her 18th birthday. After Birchmore turned 18 years old, Farwell continued cultivating a sexual relationship with her that lasted until her death on February 1st, 2021. And then it says electronic messages between Farwell and Birchmore indicate that Farwell sexually abused Birchmore when she was a child. So now we're going to get into the next part. It says after Birchmore's death, law enforcement agents obtained Birchmore's cell phone, both Apple iPhones and laptop, and reviewed the data on those devices. During the review, agents discovered messages between Farwell and Birchmore. The messages confirmed that Farwell frequently communicated with Birchmore for years. The messages also indicate that Farwell had sex with Birchmore when she was just a minor, starting in and around April 2013, when Birchmore was 15 and Farwell was 27. Number 16, it says, data from Birchmore's Facebook account reveals aspects of the beginning of Farwell and Birchmore's online communication. Specifically, the Facebook data indicates that Farwell sent Birchmore a Facebook friend request on October 28th, 2012. At that time, Birchmore was 15 years old and a participant in the Police Explorers. Farwell was her 26-year-old instructor. On February 21st, 2019, Birchmore and Farwell had a text message conversation about Farwell taking Birchmore's virginity. Birchmore told Farwell that she was happy that he took it. Later in the same conversation, Farwell acknowledged that it was a big thing to get to be the first, quote unquote. In the same text conversation, Farwell also reminisced about the first time he digitally keyword penetrated Birchmore's. You guys can read that. I hope you guys can read that. I'm not going to say certain words just because I don't know. I mean, I don't mind, but I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube. It says Birchmore's V. Discussing the day that occurred, Farwell asked Birchmore what she would have done if he, Farwell, told her he wanted her that day. Birchmore responded that she would have told him that he could have sex with her after school. She also recalled the specific class and seat that she was in when she realized that she was going to lose her virginity to Farwell. Based on my investigation, I believe this occurred during the 2012-2013 school year when Birchmore was 15 years old. Additionally, on March 19th, 2019, Farwell asked Birchmore, what would you have done if we never used a condom and I never pulled out? Birchmore reassured Farwell that she would have still finished school. Smiley. Birchmore then told Farwell, I loved prom night. It was worth not going to prom. On February 11th, 2020, Birchmore and Farwell discussed the exact day that Farwell then took 15-year-old Birchmore's virginity. And this is a text message back and forth from them. Birchmore, I had butterflies so bad the day you took my virginity. Farwell, me too. It was such a big day. Birchmore, still know the date to this day. Farwell, really? Birchmore, yes. Smiley. Birchmore, that's not a date I'll ever forget. Birchmore, it was April 10th, 2013. Farwell, smiley. Birchmore, best day of my life. Face with heart emoji. Farwell, me too. On June 19th, 2020, Birchmore and Farwell had the following conversation in which Farwell reminisced about his past criminal sex abuse of Birchmore. This is another text. Birchmore, I'm glad you agreed to take my virginity though. Farwell, me too. Farwell then says, LOL, if I pushed, I could have absolutely blank you without blank from day one. Birchmore, probably if you really pushed it. I was kind of scared to say no in the beginning, not knowing how you take it. So yeah, you would have got no blank, LOL. Okay, I'm gonna check in with you guys because this is wild. Here's, oh, sorry, I didn't switch the page. My bad, guys. But here's this so you guys can look over the text message. I'm sorry, I was so deep in that I was like, I didn't even let you guys see. Let me say what's up to everybody. Oh, I see 𝐸𝐵𝐚 here. Hi, 𝐸𝐵𝐚. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. He should have never. I'm disgusted, especially knowing that, you know, he went into the same program as like a teenager one time. So it's like, you're gonna be that disgusting and disrespect your position and your job as a police officer. Rabbit, thank you for presenting, Melly. You see this all. I'm glad you're here, Rabbit, and I'm glad you're enjoying being here. Low 12, hello. And Brian, thank you guys for being here. Okay, let's move on because this is getting just a little much. And I'll make sure I switch the page this time. Sorry, guys. Okay, it says Part B. Other electronic messages confirm that Farwell sexually abused Birchmore when she was a child. Text messages between Birchmore and others confirm that Farwell sexually abused Birchmore as a child and continued a sexual relationship with her until her death. For example, on October 5th, 2020, Birchmore texted one of her friends, here in person 1, that Farwell had been having sex with her for the last almost 10 years and that Farwell had taken her virginity before she was 16. On May 20, 2020, Birchmore told another friend that she had lost her virginity 5 days before the Boston Marathon 𝐒𝐚𝐫𝐚. You guys know what that is. Also on October 5th, 2020, Birchmore prepared a draft text message to Farwell's wife. Birchmore sent this draft text to person 1. This text states in part, I am, quote unquote, I am just messaging you to inform you that your husband Matthew has been cheating on you since before you guys were even married, quote unquote. I am aware that Farwell and his wife got married in 2013, shortly before Birchmore turned 16 years old. There's no known record indicating that the draft message was sent to Farwell's wife. Other text messages between Farwell and Birchmore demonstrate his sexual interest in minors. On June 15, 2019, Farwell and Birchmore exchanged text messages in which they discussed role-playing during their next sexual encounter. Farwell asked Birchmore how old she was going to pretend to be during that encounter. When Birchmore responded 14, Farwell replied with a smiley face emoji. In another conversation between Farwell and Birchmore on February 21, 2020, Farwell describes pinning Birchmore down during sex and asks her, will you say, Matt, stop, I'm 13, I'm not ready for this, blank, 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 please stop. You guys can see this right on the screen, so read for yourself. Number 25. I have also reviewed several text messages from 2020 in which Farwell instructs Birchmore to act as if he were her older brother coming into her room at night to have sex with her. I'm disgusted, you guys. I can't even. Moving on. Part C. Witnesses confirm that Farwell cultivated a close relationship with Birchmore when she was a child. Agents have interviewed one of Birchmore's friends, this would be person number 2, regarding Birchmore's relationship with Farwell. Person 2 indicated that shortly before her death, Birchmore revealed to her that Farwell started having sex with Birchmore when she was just 15 years old. Agents have also interviewed one of Birchmore's relatives who described being aware that Birchmore would meet with Farwell when Birchmore was a minor. Specifically, this family member indicated that around the time Birchmore was a freshman in high school, she would tell him or her that she was meeting with Farwell so he could help her with her homework. I have reviewed a text message exchange between Farwell and Birchmore from June 17th, 2019, where the two discuss how Farwell had helped her test prepped at the library. Farwell told Birchmore that she should have told him she was interested in having sex with him that day. Birchmore told him that she was scared to speak up. Farwell then asked her, "Did you think I wouldn't want to sex with you?" Birchmore responded, "Yes, and like, because of my age, I didn't want you to be like, no, WTF. Farwell then told her, "I understand that." In conversation from April 5th, 2020, Farwell told Birchmore that he knew he wanted to take her V card when he started helping her with schoolwork. Additionally, on February 1st, 2020, Birchmore and Farwell reminisced about when they first became sexually active. And now we're going to go into a text between the two, and you guys can see it on there. So if I bleep some words out, Birchmore says, "I listened better back then, though." Farwell, "I wish it would have been a year sooner after helping you study at the library." Farwell, "You still listen and give me whatever I want, baby." Birchmore, "I didn't even make you wait a year after that." And good, I don't think you're going to get what you want next time. So Farwell, "Of course, I will just take it." Birchmore, "That's what you think. Good luck with that." Farwell, "What was the first day you said, 'Oh my God, I want this guy to be my first. I want him to blank blank'?" Birchmore, "Yeah, so 2012, I finally decided that I was going to try and find a way to sex you and just wasn't sure how. How did you feel when I asked to make your dream come true?" Farwell, "Amazing!" Exclamation mark. Birchmore, "Good." Farwell, "I absolutely would have sexed you in 12. Birchmore, "In 12? Question mark. Farwell, 2012. So 2012. Agents have also interviewed one of Birchmore's childhood friends, which would be person number 3. Person number 3 confirmed that Birchmore would meet Farwell to help her with quote unquote homework. Moreover, person number 3 indicated that Birchmore confided in him or her that she was meeting with Farwell in early high school to have sex with him in his police car or his truck. Moving on. I'll check in with you guys real quick. See a note, Farwell using baby with zero self-awareness. Facts. Hot mess. There's no way the wife didn't have suspicion and questions about this piece of human garbage. Absolutely. Brian and Jill, which is Jill. She was 4'10" and he's 6'4". She never stood a chance. Absolutely. Okay, my nice words aren't gonna work. I gotta dip. I'm angry. Love you, Rabbit. Come back whenever you want. You know you're always welcome here. And you know I support you and have your back. Nicolette, hey Melly. Hi. Okay, let's keep going. On multiple occasions, Farwell engaged in sexual acts with Birchmore while on duty as a Stoughton police officer. To cover this up, Farwell falsely represented that he had worked certain hours, when in truth and in fact he was not working. Rather, he was engaging in sexual acts or spending time with Birchmore. Accordingly, Farwell's misconduct was also part of the scheme to obtain wages from the Stoughton Police Department, an agency of the town of Stoughton, through false statements or material omissions regarding the hours he was on duty working as a police officer. Text messages between Farwell and Birchmore indicate that on multiple occasions, Farwell left work during his shifts to meet and at times engage in sexual activity with Birchmore. These encounters occurred at various locations, including Birchmore's previous home in Stoughton, her more recent apartment in Canton, a Costco parking lot in Stoughton, and a Five Guys parking lot in Canton. Examples of dates and approximate start times of these encounters are listed here below. And as you guys can see on their screen, there's dates and times that they have when they met. And then it goes on to the next page. So you guys can see how many times they met up. That's a lot. I'm just giving you a little time to look at that. Just goes to show, like, careful what you do on your phone, because everything's, whoever knows everything, right? Moving on. I have reviewed messages that reveal both Farwell and Birchmore knew that some of their encounters occurred while Farwell was on duty. For example, on April 10th, 2020, Farwell wrote, quote unquote, "I'm going to sneak away from work quick," quote unquote. On November 4th, 2020, Birchmore asked if Farwell would be on duty when the two were scheduled to meet. Farwell responded, "Yes, I will be on the clock." The text messages between Farwell and Birchmore, which precede several of the above-listed encounters, contain statements indicating that the purpose for at least some of the encounters was to engage in sex acts. For example, on several occasions, Farwell sent Birchmore text messages directing her to act as she was being raped during the ensuing encounter. The town of Stoughton pays Stoughton police officers on a bi-weekly basis. In and around 2020 and around January 2021, Farwell received his paychecks via direct deposit to his account at USAA Federal Savings Bank. The paycheck funds originated with Rockland Trust Bank and were deposited in Farwell's account via an automated clearinghouse transfer. Each ACH transfer originated outside of Massachusetts and or traveled through another state before terminating into Farwell's account. Accordingly, it appears that by engaging in sexual conduct when he should have been performing official duties as a police officer and obtaining pay for that time, Farwell may have committed wire fraud in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1343. As described in detail below, there's evidence that Farwell killed Birchmore on February 1st, 2021, to prevent from disclosing information about his possible commission of the federal crimes listed above. Part A, Birchmore's pregnancy. On October 5th, 2020, Person 1 told Birchmore that Farwell's wife was pregnant with the couple's third child. Person 1 indicated that the baby was due in February 2021. Birchmore responded that she was going to tell Farwell's wife that he had been having sex with Birchmore for nearly 10 years. In summary, electronic messages between Farwell and Birchmore for the period beginning on or about October 5th, 2020 through January 2021 indicate that Birchmore presented Farwell with an ultimatum. Farwell would have to agree to engage in unprotected sex with Birchmore with the goal of conceiving a child, and in return, Birchmore would not disclose their relationship. Birchmore had already told others that Farwell had been having sex with her since before she was 16, which she knew was a crime, and Birchmore knew that Farwell was leaving work to have sex with her while he was on duty as a Stoughton police officer. According to text messages between Farwell and Birchmore sent Farwell a photo of her ovulation schedule, and the two started discussing timing their sexual encounters around specific time in Birchmore's cycle. Approximately 1 week after Farwell agreed to have unprotected sex in order to conceive a child, Farwell and Birchmore had a disagreement about the terms of their agreement. The following is an excerpt from a text conversation on October 12th, 2020. Farwell says, via text, "I said the agreement was once that was our compromise." Birchmore, "I asked if we could try this month and didn't realize that meant you SEX'd me once, LOL. And then I asked if we could try through this year and you said, I think about it." The conversation continued on October 13, 2020. Farwell, "Our compromise was to try once." Birchmore, "Yeah, it was to try this month." "So you're thinking about the second thing I said as far as the rest of the year? Farwell, "You said to try this month. If it happens, it's meant to be." Those are the exact words. Text messages indicate that a few weeks later, Birchmore continued to discuss trying to get pregnant. On November 3rd, 2020, she asked Farwell if they could try again that month or whether they would need to talk in quote-unquote person about that. Farwell responded, "That's an in-person discussion." On November 5th, 2020, Birchmore asked Farwell if he had given any more thought to the prior conversation and told him that she thought of a way they could both be happy. Birchmore says via text, "How would you feel about us having a baby? You being there and signing the birth certificate. There's never going to be a need for your information anyway, so you'll be safe there, and I won't talk shit about you or our kids. That way we both get what we want. You asked me the other day what I wanted, and I didn't want to give it to you in the form of an ultimatum, so I'm trying to do it with you as a compromise type of thing. Can you tell me what you thought of?" And then Birchmore says again, "I'm down for discussing it in person, but the more I thought about it, signing it really isn't going to have an impact on you because of the way things are going to fall in the future. And Farwell finally responds, okay, that's an in-person discussion. In November 2020, after Birchmore learned that she was not yet pregnant, she asked Farwell about continuing to try to conceive for another month. On multiple occasions, Farwell told Birchmore that they needed to discuss that topic in person. Farwell continued to meet with Birchmore in person, and text message suggests that they remain sexually active. On December 28, 2020, Birchmore sent Farwell a text message informing him that she was pregnant. She sent him a photo of the poster she had made to celebrate the pregnancy. And there's a picture right there. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. It says, "Congrats, we are going to be parents, 2021. Farwell's immediate response to Birchmore's disclosure about the pregnancy was literally, "I have nothing to say right now. How could you express that in text when I said I don't appreciate it?" Farwell and Birchmore then argued about the pregnancy in the following conversation. Farwell, how far are you? Birchmore, regardless of how far, we're keeping it. Birchmore, 3.5 weeks. And she says again, which means I conceived this month. Farwell, okay, well, we need to talk then. Birchmore, no shit, that's obvious. And the birth certificate is being signed, or hers isn't. No, I'm mad at your acting how you're over a choice we both made. Farwell, I'm mad you act like you gave anyone a choice. Birchmore, LMAO. Oh, so you didn't have a choice? ? Farwell, per usual, you make and do whatever you want. Birchmore, all I did was say, can I have it? You said, what? And I said, you know what I'm asking for? And you stood up and said, yeah. Birchmore, you've been doing that. You mad she's due in February and I am in September, and you don't know how you're going to be there for the both of us. And you need to be there during labor for me too. And she continues to say, because your kid should matter. And she says, late August, early September. Farwell responds, you are truly the worst person on the face of this earth. After foregoing conversation, Birchmore again threatened to expose the truth about Farwell's prior sexual abuse in their ongoing relationship. Farwell responded by indicating that Birchmore had threatened him, causing him to agree to impregnate her. Farwell states, for the past week and a half, the doctor wasn't right, but now she was, and you just throw it at me because now you've got me. You have absolutely no idea how to treat people. I have blank bent over backwards for you. Now you want to act like this was some free will decision. You have threatened me from the word go, and if I didn't do and give you what you wanted, you would ruin me. I made a deal with you and you changed the terms every turn. We will deal with this tomorrow. What do you guys think? Sawbone says, pregnant women never have the upper hand. Turns out being pregnant drastically increases your chances of being alive. Right. Hi, Petty. Thanks for being here. Okay, let's move on. On December 29, 2020, Farwell and Birchmore met to talk in person. After this meeting, Birchmore sent Farwell a text alluding to a physical encounter. Birchmore says, it made me feel really uncomfortable and stressed out and scared when you were next to me because I thought you were going to hit me after you said what you said and took things out of my hand. That's why I was crying. I know you wouldn't, but it still scared me. At least 3 witnesses have disclosed that in the weeks before her death, Birchmore told them that Farwell was physically violent when Birchmore and Farwell discussed the pregnancy. According to death records, Birchmore was 4 feet 10 inches tall. Military records indicate that Farwell is 6 feet 4 inches tall. Person number 2 reported that in the weeks prior to Birchmore's death, she was, quote unquote, over the moon about her pregnancy. According to person 2, Birchmore had decreased her coffee consumption, discussed winter clothes for her future baby, and engaged in FaceTime calls with person number 2 while selecting baby clothes. Person 2 indicated that Birchmore was nervous about telling Farwell about the pregnancy, but she eventually did. In January 2021, Birchmore called person number 2 and stated that after telling Farwell about the baby, Farwell told her that he, quote unquote, wished she would just die and wants nothing to do with the baby. According to the information Birchmore shared with person number 2, Farwell put Birchmore in a headlock and grabbed her cell phone from her hand. Person 2 told Birchmore to distance herself from Farwell given that he was dangerous, a police officer, and obviously did not care about the law. However, person 2 was also aware that Birchmore appeared to be attached to Farwell because he had taken her virginity when she was just 15 years old. Person number 3 also indicated that in the days before her death, Birchmore disclosed that Farwell had been violent. Approximately 10 days before Birchmore's death, Birchmore and person 3 went to Walmart to buy a baby stroller for Birchmore's future child. Birchmore was excited about the baby and asked person 3 to be the child's grandmother. Birchmore told person 3 that the day prior, Farwell had gotten angry with her for showing him a fetal sonogram. According to Birchmore, Farwell told her, "That's not my child. I don't want anything really to do with you." And then Farwell pushed her to the ground. Person 3 told Birchmore to end the relationship with Farwell, and person 3 indicated that Birchmore seemed scared but not ready to leave Farwell because Farwell had been such a big part of Birchmore's life for several years. Additionally, person 7, Birchmore's longtime therapist, reported that in the weeks before Birchmore's death, Birchmore reported to her that Farwell had got upset about the impending pregnancy and shoved her. In addition to the description of Farwell's violence targeting Birchmore from person 2, person 3, and person 7, Birchmore text messages to person 1 further confirm that Farwell's escalating violence. On January 10, 2021, Birchmore sent person 1 a text message indicating that she had recently argued with Farwell. Birchmore told person 1 during the argument, Farwell took her cell phone out of her hand 3 times and refused to give it back to her. Birchmore also indicated that Farwell took her computer out of her hand and used his body to shove her. In January 2021, the pressure of Farwell increased as a result of Birchmore's pregnancy. Birchmore tried to communicate with Farwell regarding her due date, ultrasounds, genetic testing, gender reveals, and doctor appointments. In his text messages, Farwell was unresponsive to or dismissive of those topics, or he appeared to ignore them. On January 4th, 2021, Birchmore told Farwell that she was going to the doctor the next day and asked if he wanted to know how the appointment went. Farwell did not directly respond to that question. On January 5th, 2021, Birchmore asked Farwell to come over so that they could discuss the estimated due date, the week of her first ultrasound, her conversation with her doctor, and her first appointment. Farwell did not respond directly to that request. Text messages from January 3rd, 2021 show that Birchmore asked Farwell if their child could have his last name. However, he told her that he would not discuss that via text message. Birchmore says in a text, "So I have a compromise for you. You don't need to sign the birth certificate if the baby can have your last name, ... Farwell, not discussing in text. We can discuss in person." In another text message on January 6, 2021, Birchmore began to ask Farwell what their family would look like. And this is how the text goes. Birchmore, "You don't have to sign the birth certificate if I'm allowed to at least list you and they can have your name, and I won't move to 𝐒𝐚𝐽 or wherever your family resides. I won't bitch about holidays, but I would like you to come a few days before Christmas and Easter so you can see what they get from me, and I don't want you to leave them out. And 3, if you want to try and support them, we can talk about that, but I do want you to see them. I feel like I'm trying to be as fair as I can, and I want you there for the labor. That I am standing my ground on. Last name." Farwell, "Okay, we can discuss this more in person." Birchmore, "Okay, I figured. Does this sound okay to you?" Farwell responds, "It is a lot to think about. It's so much more than you have ever asked for." And Birchmore says, "And still less than what any other girl would ask for." On January 20, 2021, person 2 called the 𝐁𝐢𝐫𝐚 Police Department, and in that call referenced the sexual relationship between Birchmore and Farwell. After learning about this call, the fact of which suggested at least some aspect of Farwell's illicit conduct may have been exposed to the 𝐁𝐢𝐫𝐚 Police Department. Farwell sent Birchmore text messages revealing his extreme anger. He sent her a series of text messages with expletives telling Birchmore that he thought no one knew about their relationship and that she had no clue how bad this was, and indicating that he does not need to know if he needs to worry about other disclosures. Farwell says in a text, "Dude, your blank friend called my job, Sandra, WTF. Birchmore, ? Farwell, you're Your friend, person's two name, just called my effing work to complain about me. WTF. Birchmore responds, I don't know. Farwell, what do you mean you don't know? And Birchmore says, I literally just woke up. And Farwell says, did you steal from her? And Birchmore says, nope. Farwell says, what is going on? You also told me that no one knew about us, yet she claimed we are 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 job. That's insane. Why would she call and drop my effing name, Sandra? Like, what do I have to do with you not giving her something? Like, you have no idea how bad what she did is. I literally can't believe this is even real life. Like, what else do I have to worry about now? Which other friend will do something tomorrow? During this investigation, I have interviewed person 5, an employee of the Stoughton Police Department who received the call from person 2 on January 20th, 2021. Person 5 indicated that she took down person 2 name and information and gave it to Farwell. Person 5 indicated that Farwell immediately got angry and pissed off and ordered person number 5 not to speak about this to anyone and to never talk about it again. Person 5 described Farwell's reaction as atypical and not consistent with his normal behavior. I'm just going to touch base with you guys. Make sure y'all are still good. Brian, this employee had to be employed now. Why do I doubt it though? Right. Hi, Sherilyn. Thanks for being here, sister. Okay, let's move on because sorry, I forgot to switch the page again, but here you guys go. Birchmore's final days. On January 24th, 2021, approximately 1 week prior to Birchmore's death, she communicated with person 8 about Farwell. Birchmore in a text says, so the father came by last night and it was like a complete 360 change. Person number 8, 180? Question mark. Birchmore, yeah. Person 8, good or bad? Birchmore, good but unexpected. So it kind of threw me off and made me a little uncomfortable, but that's because of how things were going. He asked me if I'd give him a key and said that if I kept it secret, he'll be around and see them and all that. So it's somewhere. Then he looked in my closet and then the bathroom, but I don't know. I haven't figured that out. We started to heart, then work called him, so he had to leave. Oh, and he bought me a ginger ale because I ran out. Person number 8, what about the birth certificate? Birchmore, I think he's signing it, not sure. He's coming back again this week. But it was like a complete 180 from where we were at. Based on my training and experience, I believe that Farwell's shift in demeanor on or about this date was his attempt to appease Birchmore until he could unalive her. And additionally, the foregoing text messages, considered in light of the other evidence, suggests that Farwell was making a plan to unalive Birchmore. Part of that plan including asking Birchmore to give him a key and keep it secret. Another part of that plan was inspecting various rooms of Birchmore's apartment, including the closet, to determine whether they contain items or presented options for how and when to unalive Birchmore. Farwell's request for a key for Birchmore's apartment in the week leading up to her death is corroborated by other evidence. I have reviewed text messages between Farwell and Birchmore from January 24th, 2021, in which Birchmore gave Farwell the passcode to her building's front door and told him, quote unquote, I have your key too when you want it. Additionally, I have reviewed records from the Walmart that suggest that Birchmore did in fact pay approximately $2 to have a key copied at approximately 11:10 a.m. on January 24th, 2021. According to text messages Birchmore and Farwell exchanged on January 29, 2021, Birchmore again gave Farwell the passcode to her building's front door, and Farwell verified that the code was a general one given to the entire building, not just one assigned to her. Farwell requesting or accepting a key to Birchmore's apartment was a sudden change from recent conversations. I have reviewed text messages between Farwell and Birchmore as recent of October 14th, 2020, in which Farwell told her that he did not think it was a good idea for him to keep a key to her new Canton apartment. In a conversation with a friend, person number 9, on January 24th, 2021, Birchmore indicated that she was surprised that Farwell was now requesting a key to her apartment. The text message goes like this. Person 9, did it go good with him? Birchmore, I got hit with a shocker question. Can I call you? So what really surprisingly asked him if he could have a key. I am basically said he'll be around as long as I keep it a secret and don't tell anybody. But he did admit that I do have the upper hand in the situation, which isn't a good thing, but I'm trying to and not be that person, if you know what I mean. Person number 9. I get it. Are you going to give him a key? Birchmore. I just made a copy of it. Yeah. Person number 9. That's good. Birchmore. I'm going to give it to him yet. I'm not going to give it to him yet, but he also brought me ginger ale last night like I asked him to. A lot more than I thought he was going to. Yes, I still have to verify the PIN for him to get into the apartment if he rings me and I don't answer. But like last night, he opened my closet door for something, and then he went in my bathroom looking at my bathroom, and then I have a dolly in my living room, and I asked why I had it. It was just really odd. He started looking around, and I don't know. Person number 9. That's weird. Birchmore. Yeah, it was really weird. According to text messages between Farwell and Birchmore 2 days before Birchmore's death, she continued to engage Farwell about planning for the birth of their child. On January 30th, 2021, Birchmore asked Farwell if she could tell him the baby name she was considering. Farwell told her he would rather discuss that topic in person. Leading up to February 1st, 2021, Birchmore planned for another important baby-related event, such as who would care for her cats when she went into labor. She ordered baby items and conducted Google searches related to her pregnancy and future child rearing decisions. She also planned for a newborn baby photos, an official pregnancy announcement, which she planned to do on Valentine's Day, as well as a gender reveal. She also made plans for her more immediate future, scheduling an OB/GYN appointment for February 10th, 2021, and asking Farwell to help shovel out the car during the impending snowstorm. I'll check in with you guys real quick and we'll move on to the day that she was on the live. Just want to make sure y'all look good. Holly says, yeah, we've seen that so many times. Adam says, imagine if he was a millionaire or a billionaire, right? Okay, let's move on. The day Birchmore died. On February 1st, 2021, at 12:19 p.m., Birchmore sent Farwell text messages indicating that she was going to be released early from her job at the Sharon Public Schools. Farwell told her that he would not be in the area that day. Later in the afternoon of February 1st, 2021, Birchmore told Farwell that she had received an early gift in the mail and that she was not planning to have a baby shower until late March because of the then ongoing C-19 pandemic. She told Farwell that once she learned whether they were having a boy or girl, she wanted him to purchase clothes for the child to wear when he or she came home from the hospital. Investigators have reviewed surveillance video from Birchmore's Canton apartment building. On February 1st, 2021, she is seen in the video at approximately 5:01 p.m. accepting a DoorDash order and then going outside briefly and returning with a snow brush at 5:31 p.m. and at 5:33 p.m. respectively. The last time Birchmore is seen alive on the video is on February 1st, 2021 at 5:33 p.m. Later that evening at approximately 9:08 p.m., Farwell sent Birchmore a text message asking whether he could come by for a second. At approximately 9:10 p.m., Birchmore sent Farwell a text message indicating that when he arrived at her apartment, the door would be open for him. This is the last outgoing message sent from Birchmore's cell phone. Surveillance video shows Farwell entering Birchmore's Canton apartment building at 9:14 p.m. In the surveillance video, Farwell is wearing street clothes, a hoodie with the hood up, and a face mask that is similar to the medical face masks that many people use during the pandemic. I have reviewed multiple witnesses who have indicated that Farwell resisted wearing a mask during the pandemic. One of these witnesses stated that Farwell would only wear a mask when on duty and required by the department policy to do so. The video surveillance recording shows that Farwell left Birchmore's apartment at 9:43 p.m. Canton police officers found Birchmore's body on February 4th, 2021. On February 4th, 2021, Canton police officers conducted a well-being check at Birchmore's apartment. One of Birchmore's co-workers called the police because Birchmore had failed to show up for work that day. When officers arrived, they found Birchmore's body seated on the floor in a reclined position with a double bag strapped tied around her neck. The strap was connected to her closet doorknob, the closet that Farwell had inspected approximately 1 week earlier. At least one first responder quickly concluded that Birchmore had been deceased for quote-unquote days. I have reviewed crime scene photographs that depict Birchmore wearing the same clothing she was wearing when she is seen on video entering her apartment on February 1st, 2021 at approximately 5:33 p.m. This is consistent with Birchmore having died later that same evening. According to police reports, when Birchmore's body was found, her cell phone was located on the floor approximately 12 inches from her right hand and 6 inches from her bent right knee. I have reviewed the data on Birchmore's phone. A log report indicates that the phone was locked from 9:13 p.m. on February 1st, 2021, until the device powered off because of battery loss on February 3rd, 2021. On February 1st, 2021, while still locked, Birchmore's phone recorded a screenshot of a black screen at 9:18 p.m. In other words, after sending a final text message to Farwell to tell him the door was unlocked, Birchmore's phone locked and was not unlocked until after the device was recovered by police. Health data on Birchmore's phone indicates that the last movement recorded by the phone on February 1st, 2021 occurred at 9:40 p.m. That was 3 minutes before Farwell was captured on surveillance video leaving Birchmore's apartment. Specifically, this data indicates that the mechanism that Apple uses to record movement registered 8 steps at approximately 9:40 p.m. These recorded steps occurred while Farwell was still in Birchmore's apartment. The phone recorded no additional steps between 9:40 p.m. and the time it was recovered by the first responders on February 4th, 2021. As noted above, first responders ultimately found the phone next to Birchmore's body. Based on my review of the frequency of Birchmore's phone use over the weeks, months, years leading up to her death, her failure to access her phone is inconsistent with her usual habits when alive and awake. I reviewed Birchmore's phone use from the hours leading up to her death on February 1st, 2021. The following are some of the items in Birchmore's phone data from the hours before her death. This evidence that appears to be consistent with Birchmore, a pregnant woman choosing to die by suicide that day. And there's like a little graph chart. It says 1:25 p.m. to 1:31 p.m. Birchmore communicated with a photographer regarding the timeline for booking a newborn photography shoot. At 7:57 p.m., Birchmore texted a friend to obtain baby clothes from her. 8:25 p.m. Birchmore performed a Google search for Cubby Kitty's furniture. The condition of items found in Birchmore's apartment were inconsistent with Birchmore dying by unaliving herself. I have interviewed family members who helped clean Birchmore's apartment in the days following her death. Some of the things they observed were also inconsistent with Birchmore deciding to die by unaliving herself. For example, during her first visit, they noted that Birchmore had been in the middle of the day doing laundry when she had died, with a load of wet clothes in the washing machine and another load dry in the dryer. Additionally, they observed a homemade sign saying, quote unquote, "Congratulations, you're going to be a father." The sign had an ultrasound photo on it and it was sprinkled with glitter. Additionally, in Birchmore's apartment, family members observed a new baby stroller that was still in its package. They also observed homemade and store-bought onesies for a baby. The onesie read, "We are going to be parents," with a set of footprints underneath. Birchmore had packages that had been delivered recently, including and other supplies for her baby. Birchmore had ordered items shortly before her death, and packages continued to arrive in the days following her death. Finally, family members found a necklace that belonged to Birchmore lying on the floor of her bedroom. This necklace consisted of a thin gold chain with a pink flamingo charm. The family members observed that the necklace's chain was broken, but not at the clasp. There was also a large clump of hair on the chain. From my review of the crime scene photos, I observed that while the strap was around Birchmore's neck, the necklace was broken and hanging from the left side of her neck. The necklace charm was on the right side of her abdomen. Part H, autopsy and medical evidence. A medical examiner performed an autopsy on Birchmore's body. The medical examiner determined that Birchmore's cause of death was by asphyxia by hanging. The medical examiner ruled Birchmore's manner of death a suicide. The medical examiner's written autopsy report noted that Birchmore's hyoid bone, a U-shaped bone at the front of the neck, was fractured on the right side and that she suffered from petechial hemorrhages of the bulbar and 𝐒𝐵𝐵𝐿 𝐒𝐚𝐽𝑒ctivae. Additionally, the medical examiner concluded that Birchmore had a hemorrhage of her left sternothyroid muscle. The medical examiner's autopsy report further confirmed that Birchmore was approximately 8 to 10 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. The autopsy included toxicology testing. The results of the toxicology tests were negative for all substances except for sertraline, which was explained by antidepressants Birchmore had been prescribed. As part of the investigation, the government retained Dr. William 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐵𝐚 as an expert to independently review the crime scene photos, autopsy photos, and the medical examiner's autopsy report. Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐵𝐚 is an emergency medicine residency and forensic fellowship trained physician with more than 40 years of experience in the forensic evaluation of injuries, crime scenes, and the forensic evaluation and reconstruction of wounds, including asphyxia-related deaths. His training, experience, and position as a police surgeon instructor at the Louisville Metro Police Academy, instructor of the Department of Justice. Okay, he's a lot of different things. So like U.S. Marshal Service, assistant medical examiner for them, includes the emergency treatment, investigation, and reconstruction of asphyxia-related deaths and the analysis of the crime scene for evidence of alteration. He has treated and evaluated thousands of patients, both fatally and non-fatally injured, who have experienced the physiological consequences of asphyxia, including strangulation. Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐵𝐚 was written, lectured extensively, and trained thousands of law enforcement officers, physicians, nurses, judges, and attorneys on the evidence collection, crime scene investigation, and the analysis of the reconstruction of wounds, injury mechanisms, and the medical risks and consequences of asphyxia. Based on his review of the evidence, Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐵𝐚 has made several observations and conclusions that call into question the prior finding that Birchmore's cause of death was suicide, and instead further confirmed that Birchmore's cause of death was homicide. First, Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐴 concluded that the fracture of the right superior horn of Birchmore's hyoid bone is not consistent with the position in which the first responders found her sitting. A sitting hanging is called an incomplete hanging, meaning only partial body weight is applied to the neck ligature. Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐴's review of 100 cases of hangings in the forensic medical literature found no reported cases of hyoid bone fractures in seated women. Fractures of the hyoid bone are more commonly seen in strangulation assaults and in hangings with the full body weight applied to the ligature, but not seated hangings. Second, Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐴 noted that during the autopsy, a pattern imprint was documented on Birchmore's right upper chest. The pattern imprint was a consequence of buckle or buckles from the ligature strap forced down into Miss Birchmore's chest. The presence of this pattern imprint is not consistent with a ligature hanging. Rather, the presence of the pattern is consistent with blunt force trauma from an assault. When the first responders found Birchmore's body, the buccal response for this imprint was observed just below her right ear. However, the location of the imprint on her chest is not consistent with incomplete ligature hanging. Third, Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐴 reviewed the autopsy photos that depict Birchmore with areas of skin missing from the inferior and lateral aspects of her nose, consistent with abrasions. These type of injuries are commonly seen in cases of suffocation when the victim moves their nose back and forth in an effort to breathe. Fourth, Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐴 noted that Birchmore was in the habit of always wearing a chain necklace with a flamingo pendant. The chain was found broken around Birchmore's neck. The breaking of Birchmore's chain necklace is consistent with struggle. Dr. 𝐒𝐚𝐧𝐝𝐴, based on his education, experience, and training, and his review of the materials in the case opined, with a reasonable degree of medical and scientific certainty that the cause of Miss Birchmore's death is asphyxia and the manner of her death is homicide. Okay, I'm going to check in with you guys. Heavy stuff. Heavy. Very interesting. Jill says her phone registered at 8 steps. Her friend said her phone was a third hand. She took 8 steps, probably backwards, and he got her. C. Smith says Sandra was so petite and pregnant that obviously overempowered her. Jill says, sadly, I see a case very much like this. Yes, C. Smith, it's heartbreaking. Okay, let's move on. On February 6, 2021, after the police found Birchmore's body in her apartment, Mass State Police detectives interviewed Farwell. The interview occurred in the parking lot of a 𝐁𝐢𝐫𝐚 elementary school. During this interview, Farwell made several false statements about his relationship with Birchmore. Farwell told officers that he was in a sexual relationship with Birchmore, but he claimed that the relationship only began in 2020. Based on the investigation, Farwell's statement to detectives was false. As described above, Farwell began having sex with Birchmore in 2013 and continued to have sex with her until near her death. Farwell told detectives that he had only had sex with Birchmore 2 or 3 times in the previous year. The statement was also false. Based on text messages between Farwell and Birchmore, Farwell had sexual intercourse with Birchmore on at least 10 occasions between January 1st, 2020 and February 1st, 2021. Farwell also told detectives that he could not have been the father of Birchmore's unborn child because the last time he had intercourse with her was October 2020. The statement was also false. Set forth below is a text message conversation between Farwell and Birchmore on November 18th, 2020, in which they discussed an upcoming sexual encounter. And the text thread goes like this. Farwell, I'm going to try for tonight. I've been in interviews all day for the murder. Sorry. Birchmore, exciting. Okay, I'm running to the store and doing something for you then. I hope you can come. Farwell, what are you doing for me? Birchmore, LOL, shaving. Are you planning on rolling me over? I need to know what you want if you come. If you want me to roll you. Farwell says, would you want me to use a 𝐒𝐚𝐫𝐚 if I roll you? Birchmore, I don't have any. Never picked any up. Birchmore, do you want me to just take what you do or try and say no? I've been told no is your favorite. Farwell says, say no. Let's see. I don't know why there's a page missing there. It's interesting. I don't know what's wrong with that page. Sorry, guys. It says persons with severe mental health issues. However, the 𝐁𝐢𝐫𝐚 Police Department, the law enforcement agency in the town with Birchmore lived her whole life before moving to Canton on or about December 1st, 2020, has a record of Birchmore being subject to his temporary mental health hospitalization only one time of May 2020. So she had been in the hospital due to mental health issues in May of 2020. According to police records and information disclosed to person 7 on that day, Birchmore had gotten into a fight with a family member who called the police and reported Birchmore was going to harm herself. The police took Birchmore to the hospital where she was evaluated and deemed not at risk for self-harm. She was released a few hours. According to person 7, Birchmore stated that she was not suicidal, just angry at her family member. Additionally, I am unaware that minutes after Birchmore was released from this unfounded section, Farwell and Birchmore engaged in graphic sexual conversation. Later, Birchmore apologized for worrying Farwell, and Farwell replied, I wasn't worried. I know you are fine. I think we missed something on that blank page, so had to have to do with their mental health. The Canton Police Department has no record of Birchmore being subject to temporary mental health hospitalization. While there is evidence that indicates that Birchmore may have had suicidal ideations on few occasions between 2016 and 2018, which Farwell likely knew about because he was exploring her during that time, I am not aware of credible evidence of any suicidal ideations in approximately 3 years leading up to her death. In fact, all of the witnesses agents who interviewed their interactions with Birchmore in the weeks leading up to her death suggested that during that period, she was excited, optimistic, and involved in future planning. Person 7 had a therapy session with Birchmore on January 31st, 2021. During that meeting, person 7 screened Birchmore for any signs of depression or suicidal ideation. He or she found none. Person 7 had regular sessions with Birchmore and noted no signs of depression or suicidal ideations in the months leading up to Birchmore's death and her next appointment scheduled with Birchmore for February 4th, 2021. So that's them establishing that that she had no mental health problems, probably from any time, you know, from the time frame that she was involved with him or not. I'm not sure if she did actually go to the mental health hospital. Maybe that'll be cleared up. Additionally, Farwell told detectives that he had been trying to distance himself from Birchmore. This is inconsistent with evidence that in Birchmore's final days, Farwell asked for a key to her apartment. I have also reviewed a text message from January 28, 2021, just days before Birchmore's death, in which Farwell told her that when he came over that night, he would give her quote unquote hugs. In that same conversation, he told her that he may not have been able to visit her because he was at a quote unquote death, but it was all good because we do them all the time. In addition, I have reviewed a text message exchange between Birchmore and Farwell from January 29th, 2021, in which Birchmore expressed joy at Farwell agreeing to engage in sexual activity with her again. Farwell's post-interview conduct. Following Birchmore's death, the Stoughton Police Department placed Farwell on administrative leave. Around that time, Farwell met a coworker, person number 4, at a local bar. During that meeting, Farwell told person number 4 that he had a sexual relationship with Birchmore. However, according to person number 4, at no point during that conversation did Farwell express any sadness, grief, or remorse about Birchmore's death. Farwell told person number 4 that he was angry with MSP for looking into him. At some point during the summer of 2021, person 4 attached a social gathering with Farwell, during which Farwell participated in a joke about Birchmore being hung on the door. Through the investigation, agents have identified evidence that Farwell expressed an interest in violent sex and has a history of choking Birchmore. On one or more than one occasion, Farwell asked Birchmore to perform his grape fantasies during sex, whereby Birchmore would pretend to be the victim of Farwell stimulated sexual assaults. Moreover, I have reviewed text messages that indicate that over the course of the relationship, Farwell initiated the concept of choking Birchmore on numerous occasions. In 2020, the year preceding her death, text messages revealed that Farwell told Birchmore on at least 20 separate occasions that he would grab her throat, pin her down by her throat, squeeze her throat, or choke her during sexual activity. These messages were sent on following dates, and they list a bunch of these dates, as you can see on the screen, from January 29th, 2020 to November 13, 2020. Based on my review of Birchmore's journal entries as early as 2013, when Birchmore was just 16 years old, Farwell introduced the idea of choking during their sexual encounters and discussions. One such example of Farwell promising to choke Birchmore occurred on October 14th, 2020, when Farwell told Birchmore he was going to, quote unquote, cover her mouth during sex and maybe I'll choke you a little bit. In that same conversation, Farwell told Birchmore, I'll grab your throat and say you won't say a word to anyone. On October 15th, 2020, Farwell told Birchmore that during their next sexual encounter, he was going to grab her throat and say, STFU now or I won't blank. On November 13th, 2020, Farwell and Birchmore again discussed choking. In the conversation, Farwell told Birchmore, maybe I'll hold you down by your throat while I blank you. He asked her how tight he should squeeze, and then he stated that he wanted her to feel like, oh my God, is this really happening? I can't stop it. Farwell used violent sex as a form of punishment. Birchmore's journal entries from 2013 through 2020 detail a continuous and sometimes violent sexual relationship with Farwell. Birchmore often journaled about Farwell using sex acts to punish her. According to journal entries, Farwell would engage in forceful oral, vaginal, and sex acts to punish her for her mistakes, such as getting bad grades, having intercourse with other people, and failing to share her cell phone location with him. I have reviewed numerous text messages that Farwell sent Birchmore, including some from March of 2019, which are consistent with Farwell's practice of using certain sex acts to punish her by lying or being intimate with someone else. For example, in a text conversation on March 7th, 2019, Farwell said, you would have to take a serious blank to make me happy. Birchmore, is it for everything? Farwell, no. You owe me 3. I'll give you a break and spread them out. Birchmore, please not all the same day. Farwell, no, like I'll give you a week, you can feel it, and then as soon as it gives away, you'll get it again so you can feel it. Birchmore, not going to be a fun month. Farwell, not for you. Farwell's fixation with grape fantasies. Text messages between Farwell and Birchmore reveal Farwell's interest in sexual assault. For example, in one text conversation on November 8, 2020, Farwell told Birchmore that he had enjoyed having sex with her. When Birchmore asked what would be perfect for him, Farwell replied, "You say no and make me blank full R word." When Birchmore indicated that she was amenable to that, Farwell responded, "Doesn't matter, I'll do whatever I want anyways." During another text message conversation between Farwell and Birchmore, Farwell instructed Birchmore to call him daddy during sexual intercourses. In that conversation on October 18, 2020, Farwell told Birchmore that, quote unquote, daddy was going to engage in blank sex with her. He also indicated that when he was done, he was going to blank her hair, pull her head back, and tell her to keep blank, blank, and blank, blank. Text messages between Farwell and Birchmore include Farwell's repeated demands that Birchmore set her phone's location sharing settings to allow him to always view her location. In these text conversations, Farwell indicated Birchmore needed to share his information in order to gain back his trust for her alleged lies and infidelity. On March 11, 2019, Farwell asked Birchmore why her location was off and why he can no longer see it. On March 22nd, 2019, Farwell asked Birchmore to reveal her location. When she responded that she was at 7-Eleven, Farwell told her that he knew she was in Abington, and he asked multiple times why she would go there when Stoughton has 100 convenience stores. On April 22nd, 2019, Farwell sent Birchmore a text message stating, "I know you're hiding shit, your location is off again." On January 22nd, 2019, Farwell sent Birchmore a text message asking why she turned off her location that day. On July 5th, 2019, Farwell again reached out to Birchmore saying, "I see your location is off again." In July of 2020, Farwell apparently transitioned from wanting to track Birchmore's location to prioritizing secrecy. In a text message, Farwell says, "You can turn your location back off if you want." Birchmore responds, "It wasn't off. That's why I wasn't sure why it wasn't showing up. Then I just unshared and reshared with you. You can have it. It's been a thing for years. LOL." Farwell responds, "LOL, okay." And then Birchmore says, I don't care if you know where I am. I'm not doing anything I shouldn't be. My legs shaking a blank ton right now. I'm feeling that tomorrow." Farwell, "I know that I just don't really like any of that stuff. Big Brother is always watching." Birchmore, "I don't understand what you mean." Farwell, "I'm just saying iPhones keep track of way too much stuff and I don't mean anything by it." Okay, I'm going to check in with you guys to make sure y'all are good. Jill says the good old boy network is very, very real in small communities. Absolutely. And will young girls have the courage, right? Hi, Black Rose. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's get going. We're going to be able to get through this, I believe. Farwell's iCloud account contains disturbing images regarding violence and necrophilia. During this investigation, pursuant to a federal search warrant, agents obtained and reviewed data from Farwell's iCloud account. Located in Farwell's iCloud were several memes that indicate his interest in sexual intercourse with dead bodies. A meme that states, quote unquote, "What does a pulse and in blank have in common? I don't care if she has either." Another meme states, "If you blank a corpse on a waterbed, it feels like they are participating." Another meme glorifying a person who unalives and essays someone who, quote unquote, "no one will miss." Farwell's iCloud data also contains images that reveals his interest in domestic and sexual violence. A meme containing a photo of a woman with blank over her mouth states that duct tape turning no, no, no since 1942. Farwell's iCloud data also includes images that could reveal his interest in strangulation. For example, one image states, when she says, "Blank me, you get carried away and now she's gone." There's also a screenshot of an image of a woman saying she could not sleep, followed by a man choking her saying, "Good night, blank." Farwell's efforts to conceal his crimes. On February 9th, 2021, after giving his personal cell phone to state police detectives, Farwell used his Stoughton police issued cell phone to make and delete 2 Google searches. First, Farwell searched for and deleted, quote unquote, "can delete iMessages be recovered by 𝐒𝐫𝐵𝐚. He then searched and deleted, quote unquote, "Can you revoke consent in Massachusetts?" I have identified text messages between Farwell and Birchmore in which Farwell directed Birchmore to destroy evidence of their sexual relationship. On March 11th, 2019, Farwell sent Birchmore a text reminding her to, quote unquote, "make sure you clear this all out." On March 19th, 2019, Farwell sent Birchmore texts about his desires to use sexual violence and pretend to grape her. At the end of this conversation, Farwell sent her a text indicating that he was going to bed and instructed to clear out this text. On June 5th, 2019, Farwell directed Birchmore to make all of their text messages and Facebook messages to make sure all of their text messages and Facebook messages had been deleted. There are also texts between Farwell and Birchmore in which Farwell directed Birchmore to destroy evidence regarding the beginning of their relationship. This would be evidence of Farwell's effort to coerce and entice Birchmore to engage in sexual intercourse when she was 15 years old. And this is what he says in a text. Farwell: "Wish we had just done it for the first time." Birchmore: "I know you do, baby." Sad face. Farwell: "It would have been perfect." Birchmore: "Yes." "Was it still perfect the first time?" Farwell: "Of course it was, baby." Smiley. Farwell: "I never thought you'd let me." Birchmore: "I never thought you would." Farwell: "I wanted it so bad." Birchmore: "So did I. I knew the day we made eye contact, I knew you wanted to blank me." Farwell: "You should have told me." Birchmore. Smiley. Farwell: "Clear out that part, baby," meaning the text. And Birchmore says, "I did." And Farwell says, "Good girl." Conclusion. This information set forth above supports the government's motion to detain Matthew Farwell pending trial in this case, sworn to under the pains of penalty. And then it says, the federal agent that did the report. So this report's supposed to back up, him being arrested and I guess losing his job. Okay, so that was the end of the documents. I'm not sure if there was more to that or if I got mostly all of it, but y'all get the gist. Thanks for hanging out and reading that. Let me see what you guys have said about it. I'm curious. Can we get some Yes. Yes, we can. I'll have to tell Dad. Darlene, that's absolutely, yeah, disgusting. Jill says, "Feds may have taken it all down, but maybe not." The aunt might say something if she finds out, though. 𝐸𝐸𝐷, the case is so sad. Yeah, it really is. I just can't believe all of that. Yes, Mr. Meaner, I said this in a chat. I was in a chat. I don't know if I was modding or just hanging out, but I said it last night. I said I definitely don't think this is his first time with this level of violence, because psychologically you have to be like ready for that, right? And if he was just so comfortable with going into her apartment and making it look like she had done something to herself, I feel like he's seen or experienced that type of violence before, whether it was directed at him or he directed it at someone else. Hi, Witch. So what do you guys think? I mean, are you into this case? Are you guys following it? There's this document. I know I missed a page or two here, but I know everybody has the documents, and I know that some people did the police. I know Melanie Little did like the detention affidavit. I just didn't want to do like the same. And I thought that this was very interesting coming from like a special agent. Thank you, Jill. No, we don't think you're doing that. Not at all, 𝐸𝐸𝐷. Mr. Meaner, I don't have the words to describe how I'm feeling about this monster. So tell me what you guys think about like it starting so young, and then I feel like she thought she was in love with him, right? Or like really starting a relationship with him, which at that time she probably thought it was like, oh, like an older guy likes me, but then it turned into something else. Yes, Daddy would do a great live. Yeah, we should have her do this. Yes, Tiff Knox, let me know if you find that article you're just talking about. Yeah. Bridget says, love your voice, Melly. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Ernie Bird says, this is such a difficult read. Yeah, it is. It's very difficult. Hi, Wednesday. I don't know if I said hi to you. I'm wondering, Wednesday, like, what you think. Sharon says, no way she was the only girl dealing with this. Right. Right. Gracie says, Melly, you rock. Just showed Dylan, my eldest, your channel. Oh, thank you, Gracie. Yeah. Tell him come hang out. Um, yeah, I'm sad. I always like want these documents and read them, and then I get like sad because I'm like, wow, like, I don't know, that just sucks. Because she went there to like try to be a police officer or whatnot, and then that happens. So I don't know. I just thought that was really sad. And now she's not here, and she was 3 months pregnant. So that's really, really. I'm wondering if he's going to be charged for 2 unalivings because at 3 months, that's already considered like a life, right? I mean, at 1 month it is, but I think at 3 months, that definitely should be considered two. I don't know. I have to go back and watch Amazing Melanie Little when he got arrested because I'm not sure if they're going to charge him for that or not. Wednesday, yeah, I'm actually avoiding. Yeah, look into it. Um, there's a lot on this case, but I just thought this report from an FBI, I think she was an FBI agent, um, some kind of agent, what she reviewed him and, was willing to document all of this stuff. Tipsy says he should be charged for the loss of both lives. Abso-freaking-lutely. I am with you, sister. Being Bio Girl. Yay! Being Bio Girl's here. Hi. I hope your doctor's appointment went well. Yeah, you'll have to replay. We went over Sandra Birchmore, the FBI affidavit. Mr. Meaner, I'm understanding a lot more why the feds are investigating Canton cops. This and the Karen Reed case makes you wonder how many more injustices have gone on. And I wonder if we would know if there was like other victims that he had, considering it was like a public program, kind of like where Sandra just ended up. So I'm wondering, are there other victims? Will they speak out? It's always hard. I don't blame them. Clark, this monster took this young mallet. Yeah. I mean, 13, 12. That's pretty. Where were her parents? See, I don't, maybe that's something we can look into, but when it comes to her being that young, yeah, but I think like when it comes to in terms of being a predator, I don't think that even if you have like protective parents, I mean, maybe they would have kept her from going out, right? But they didn't know. I mean, they assumed she was probably training or going to school, and I'm not sure. Yes, Black Rose, it is so sad and disgusting. It's terrible. 3 months and he knew well before. I was a little shocked with like them planning it out at first. That I didn't know that. So that I kind of read that for the first time with you guys tonight. So I want to like look into that. Or when they were saying like her ovulation chart and stuff, I was like, I didn't know about that. Jojo says he was supposed to protect her. Absolutely. Jill says, Mom passed dad too. I think Runkle had in chat that said GM and aunt raised her. I do remember something about her aunt. And I believe you're right about the parents, and I am a big fan of Runkle. So if you're not subscribed, go. Mia Beto says, don't know about her dad. She was in care of her aunt. Her mom passed away. It's very sad. It's very sad. 𝐒𝐚𝐽𝐬𝐶𝐝𝐫𝐚, if a guy chokes you and you survive, run. Being by a girl says, I don't think I've ever heard of this case. Dr. Oh, I'm sorry. Being by a girl, I need to get your info so we can talk. I'm sorry you're going through what you're going through, and I hope it gets somewhat better, but we love you. Esther, Melly, love you. Doing a great job on the road to Austin. Now I'm driving my friend. Oh, okay, Esther, love you. Thank you for being here and supporting me always. We've known each other for some while on here on the tubes. Did she have an anticipation order? I don't know. Good question. Good question. Good question. So I wonder if other officers will be involved. I wonder what will happen with this. I'm very curious. This is definitely going to be a case that we follow here. Not as consistent with like as other people are covering it, but I wouldn't mind covering bits and pieces of it. Holly Bones says this case is so sad. Yeah, it is. That's a good question, Brother Adam. What's an anticipation order? What is that, you guys? You guys know? Hi, Deborah. Thanks for being here. I can look it up so we can find out. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. Who asked that question? Oh, it was I forget. Oh, Darlene, explain to us. Please. Please. When a minor asks the court to be an adult. Oh, you mean like emancipation. Oh, I was reading it wrong. I'm so sorry. Yeah, an emancipation order is when you can like have responsibility for yourself. It's something below the age of 18. Yeah, you're basically like an adult and you care for yourself. Yeah, emancipation order. I'm sorry. I must have read that wrong. I just read a lot in those documents, so my eyes are like Holly Sawbone says he was supposed to protect her from her POV, but he's never a protector. He was a predator and someone needed to protect. Yep. She needed protection there. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate you for being here. It's all good, Darlene. I just wanted to make sure we all knew what it was, right? We're all just here to hang out and talk. My thoughts and prayers, yeah. It happens a lot with child actors so they can, yes, it does. Thank you, Ernie Brady. I appreciate you for being here. Jessie, she was not, well, I don't know. I know she lost both of her parents from a conversation we had earlier, so. Mia Bito says, my nightmares are counting how many other Matthew Farwells are there. There's an unlimited amount of them all over the world. In your neighborhood, next door. Maybe bagging your groceries. In the park. At the gas station. At the dump. I don't know. They're everywhere, to be honest. Time to feed the baby. Yeah, thank you for being here, guys. Sherilyn, Jesse, 𝐒𝐴𝐴𝐾. We got through that document, so I'll see what I find next on this case, and let me know too in the comments what you guys would like to see, or if what kind of live you guys want to see next. I mean, true crime, there's a lot, but I was also thinking of having some guests on, and then having Adam back on. So I kind of want to see what you guys think. What do you guys think? What's the vibe? Let me know in the comments and in the chat. My boyfriend said hi earlier. He spied because he was he's probably wondering, Ernie, who's this Melly girl you're always talking to? Tell your boyfriend I said hi, Ernie, and he should hop in chat. Darlene, needless to say, you had to pay for the lawyer for the mom. Right. Yes. I do. I'm a freak about this. I always look up like just Google it and it tells you like how to look up all the predators in your area and whatnot. But then again, you have to keep in mind there's some that aren't registered and some that aren't known predators, and those are actually the most dangerous, if you ask me, because you don't even know that they are, so it's kind of scary. Deborah, have never heard of this case. Okay, yeah, get into it. There's a bunch of lives going on about it today, I know, because of all the documents and him being arrested, but we just went over the affidavit from the FBI agent to get him to be terminated and arrested. I know I'm missing like a page, so I apologize for that, but honestly, y'all will probably see it everywhere in the next few hours. And you get it. Thank you, Gracie, for being here. Thank you guys all for taking your time to be here. It was a little over an hour. I appreciate you guys. And I'll be back probably maybe tomorrow or the next day, definitely this weekend. I'm thinking of doing maybe a couple lives, like fun ones too. I do now that you mentioned his name. Cool. It is a lot. It is a lot. Jill says, I have a different perspective of child welfare cases, and I'm in Utah. We have a few hot cases coming up. I offered my perspective. Yeah, definitely. I think that would be cool to have like a panel of people that are kind of in the same field or know what's going on. Even like law enforcement, I want to have someone up here, so I'm kind of planning that as well, just to get their opinions and thoughts and have a fun conversation. C. Smith, very difficult, but we need to be a witness for dear Sandra. And we need to, I know it sounds terrible. I said this when I was modding for Pascal yesterday about it being normal, and he was like, what? But what I meant was the essay is more common, and I know it's something that people are ashamed of and it's difficult to talk about, but it's okay to talk about it. It happens. It's very common. It's real life. We're all humans at the end of the day, and so I hope that you guys feel comfortable about talking about all this stuff here on my channel. Jill says, yeah, he's been creepy. Nice, Darlene. Foster mom knows some of the workings. Yeah. Holly says insight in this if you're also interested in talking. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll plan something out, and then I know most of you are on Discord. Black Rose says there are people that are infatuated with police officers, and she was so young. Oh yeah. I mean, I've been there before. I've been younger and thought like cops and firefighters and stuff were good looking, and it's just a thing, but she didn't deserve that, and like she was pregnant, and it's a very sad case. But thank you guys for being here. Yes, bio girl. No one will judge or bully you here. It's good vibes. We can also talk about that whole thing on YouTube too if you guys want. We can do like another mod live, talk about modding and like situations and bullying that we've come across on YouTube. How interesting would that be? Bio girl, yes, community projects. Okay, cool. Thank you, Tipsy. Okay, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you for taking your time out for like an hour and a half to be here and go over those documents. I love you all, and I will be back with maybe alive in the next few days, and I'll see you then. And thank you guys for being here. Yes, the mods of YouTube. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys later. Stay safe and stay blessed. Bye guys.